The story so far. The dangerous outlaw Leon Cabras, the lawman John Malcolm, assigned by blackmailing ranger Lindsay Kurtz to hunt Cabras down. Joining him, sharpshooting rancher Catherine Angle, the tailor's assistant Morwenna Abrams, the railway worker Albert Little, the master hunter Drew Morrill, the bounty hunter Walden McDonald, and the heroic Mexican lawman Javier Salvador. Together, they are known as the Lion Goats. Our heroes were instructed to ride off and stop a bunch of cattle rustlers, only to walk into an ambush. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Catherine and Morwenna teamed up to track their attackers back to their lair, returning to the gang a short while later.
Did you have any luck?
Yeah, we found them. Holed up in a canyon a few miles west.
I counted at least 30 men down there. It's a huge operation. Hundreds of cattle soldered into pens.
We shall ride on and come up with a plan of attack. Hopefully this will take us one step closer to capturing Leon Cabras.
Riding back to the base of the cattle rustlers, John and Javier scoped out the situation from the top of the canyon.
Well, we can get a fair bit of cover from up here, firing down, just like they did to us. But we need to cut them off if they try to escape.
That may be a little direct and increase their chances of escaping, and to increase the chance of the cattle being hit.
Why don't we try something similar to before?
What do you mean? I go talk to them?
Not you, me, and Javier. We're probably the best conversationalists here.
Well, thank you, Albert.
We go down there to distract them, pretending to be buyers in the market for some cattle. We give the signal, or if things turn hairy, Miss Angle takes out the ones with the guns and the ones in the tricky-to-reach places. You fire down on the rest, and we duck for cover behind those rocks and shoot anybody we can.
Shoot anybody you can? From what I saw of your shooting back at Reyes Mine, it's not exactly your strong suit. You work on the railroad, Javier's a lawman, you don't know anything about stock buying.
But they don't know that. Besides, a crazy guy firing wildly at them from behind the rocks, even if he's hitting everything but them, they gon' duck for cover. Plus Javier here is the best tosser I've ever seen. Tosser? No, that ain't the right word, is it? He's damn good with a rope, I'll leave it at that.
I like the sound of this. Let us head down there now.
No, wait. We should think about this a little more.
Everyone, spread out around the canyon. We have more chances of taking them out if we hit them from all angles.
Javier, just wait a minute. We don't have a full plan yet.
We have a plan, John. Have faith.
And be careful not to get a damn bullet in your chest.
Javier and Albert moseyed on down into the canyon as the rest of the Lion Goats watched and waited. They hitched their horses and approached the rustlers, drew their guns expecting trouble. Javier and Albert continued on at a casual pace, the rustlers' leaders stepping forward to meet them.
We're still in Mexico, right?
Yes, of course. Why do you ask?
Is it just me, or are these Mexican bandits all looking a little American?
What do you mean?
You boys lost?
No, I think we found what we're looking for.
What?
My name is Javier. This is Albert. We are in the business of cattle. Heard you had some good deals going.
And where would you be hearing that, friend?
We've been traveling through these parts. Spoke to a fence out by Prima Punto who heard word of some cattle going cheap. Thought we'd drop by and see what you were offering.
Is that so?
We are willing to pay.
I should hope so.
We got a lot of money.
Yeah?
So, looking at what you got here, your livestock looks good. I'm thinking we need about 50 cattle.
All right.
So, that's how much a head, Javier?
Probably about $50.
$50?
$50.
Is it 60? 70? 100?
Are you sure you don't want to also count 80 and 90 in there?
You too new to this, or are you just wasting my time?
Sir, the last thing we would want to do is waste your time.
Hey, that's Javier Salvador.
What?
Javier Salvador. He's the damn sheriff around these parts.
No. Well, maybe I am, but can't a man also have a hobby?
You son of a...
Guns started blazing as the Lion Goats and rustlers opened fire on one another. Javier and Albert scrambled into cover behind some rocks, narrowly dodging being shot.
I take back what I said about you being a great conversationalist.
Like a madman, one of the rustlers ran down towards the position, with his gun firing wildly. Javier popped out of cover as the rustler reloaded, and smacked him to the ground with a flick of his lasso.
Woohoo! But I tell you, you're still the best at that lasso.
And then I shall forget your first statement. Perhaps John Malcolm was right. We should have thought this through better and come up with a better story. It doesn't matter now, and the time for lassos has passed. If we are to live until tomorrow, we must be ready to fight for our lives. Are you ready?
You mean take the lives of others to keep our own? What even is this world? I guess I volunteered for this, though. I'm ready.
On three, to the rock over there. 1, 2, 3!
Did I ever tell you Miss Engel was a champion shooter? She's already taken half of these guys out.
She truly is a remarkable woman. Is that the woman McDonald?
The two watched in shock as Walden ran into the canyon, straight at the rustlers with his pistol in hand. Many of the criminals dropped to the ground before Walden holstered his pistol and withdrew his hunting knife, throwing himself into one of the bandits with fervent glee, cackling as he cut into him.
I tell you, that man ain't right.
Albert, to your left!
I shot him! Hey, I actually managed to hit somebody. Wait, why am I so happy about that?
Hang on, what is that? Oh, Dios mío.
There was a loud rumbling, a stampede. Albert whistled for his horse and mounted up, riding ahead of the herd as it spilled into the narrow canyon, cut out onto the plain. Albert circled them on his horse and rounded them back into a loop.
Good girl.
The cattle, quickly calming now they were away from the shoot.
Come on, easy now.
Back into the canyon they went. The gunshot stopped, and the rest of the lion goats had now gathered together around the remaining rustlers. Gwen and Catherine helped the cows back into their pen, as the rustlers' leader was dragged before Javier and John.
We got ourselves a live one here.
You have been captured. Your rustling days have come to an end.
Untie me now.
Where's your boss?
I am the boss around here.
You're not the first person this week to tell us that.
Where's Leon Cabras?
Leon Cabras. Who are you guys?
We are the lion goats. We have been sent to find him.
I don't know where he is. I have nothing to do with him, and I certainly don't want to be involved with him. Over in the tent there's a ledger. In it we listed every farm we robbed the cattle from. You can take it back. Just don't hurt me.
Well, you certainly changed your tune, didn't you?
Very good job, everybody. You should all be proud of yourself. Especially you, Albert. The way you handled those cattle saved us all a lot of hard work. Well done.
The fellow was right. The ledger here lists everyone they stole from. Hey, the Grahams. They're from my town. They were robbed last week. Also, did you notice he got scared the second Leon Cabras' name was mentioned?
I noticed that. Gave himself up almost immediately. Strange.
Kurtz had described Cabras as the devil incarnate, and his name seems to evoke the same reaction of fear. I was starting to doubt Cabras' existence. You hadn't heard of him until your boss came to you with a job. The locals haven't said much. And these gangs we were told had ties to Cabras simply don't.
You said you think Kurtz is just getting us to fix any old problems for him.
And I still do. I was thinking Cabras was just a boogeyman. But he's out there. Somewhere.
Captain Salamanca has arrived to help transport these bandits to prison.
Great. I'll put the ringleader on the back of my horse. Excuse me.
Sheriff Salvador, Catherine, have you been paying attention to Marshal Malcolm lately?
How do you mean?
What is it?
During the shootout, I took a break, and I noticed John just standing there, his pistol in hand, but he never seemed to fire it, at least not today. And his bullet count doesn't seem to have gone down. I counted them on his gun belt. They've not been moved.
Oh, okay. I'm sure it's nothing. I'll have a talk to him later.
Strange.
Mission completed. The lion goats joined Salamanca and the Rurales in escorting the captured bandits and livestock back to Primer Punta.
So, what's our reward for bringing in these cattle rustlers, Marshal?
Nothing as far as I'm aware. It's all a part of bringing down Leon Cabras.
I'm starting to think we're doing this all wrong, Marshal.
Really, Walden?
By my count, we've already done a handful of jobs, each which would have paid us pretty nicely. Only I'm not getting paid until numero uno bandito basso Leon is brought down. We should save ourselves a bit of trouble and shoot this guy on the back of your horse. Speed things up a bit.
Have you no decency?
We're in the bounty hunting game now, Malcolm. Decency is not a word you apply to it.
You'll do good to keep referring to me as Marshal until you earn my respect, Walden. I'm your superior, and you're a criminal.
I don't think we're in Texas anymore, Malcolm, so don't go deluding yourself thinking your title is worth jack outside your little town. What was that place called again?
McCarthy.
That's right. I had some fun there. But to get back on track, I'm just saying there's no point in taking alive when someone's worth enough dead. Saves time and effort. Plus, I got a little tip for all you potential bounty hunters here. If you find yourself with a dead bounty, you don't need to cart the whole body back. You just need proof you got him. Trust me, it's easier to transport a hand or a head than a cadaver.
I'll keep that in mind.
Some call it savagery, but they don't even do that. They do take your scalps, though. Wear them on their belts. It's a statement, I'll say that much. Doesn't match my outfit. You got any more, Wenna?
I think you've used your daily allowance of oxygen, Walden.
The lion goats arrived at Primer Punta to something of a crowd. Farmers overjoyed to see their stolen cattle return. The bandits responsible locked into jail cells. John stood back and watched from the shade as Javier pranced his horse about the street for the cheering villagers.
Friends, familia, people of Prima Punto and Nuevo Leon at large. Your cattle are safe, your livelihoods returned. And know this, when asked who it was who returned it to you for no want of money and only your gratitude, know it was the Lion Goats.
Still a stupid name.
Lighten up. I never heard you suggesting anything.
Unknown to John, one other person joined him in staying out of the celebration. Standing on the opposite side of the street, her arms folded and her face shrewd, she glared at Javier.
Eva! Why aren't you joining in the celebrations?
I'm not in the mood. The lawman, Salvador, he said they were called the Lion Goats.
See?
I must go. I have a message to send to my brother.
The woman Eva rode out into the desert. Later that night, back in Laredo at the sheriff's office, a telegram was delivered to Ranger Lindsay Kurtz and the Bureau of Investigation agent Robertson, who just began a new game of billiards.
We've got another update from Salamanca down south. Progress on our posse's operations.
What's it say?
Here goes. Ranger Kurtz, stop. Cattle rustlers apprehended or deceased. Stop. No casualties to posse yet. Stop. Wire further instructions ASAP. So it's going well for them, it seems. Pity I'd hoped one of them would be dead by now.
Careful, Kurtz. In the Bureau, we try to be a little more empathetic. Like we really don't want our operatives to die.
All right. How about this? How fortunate John and his team have so far evaded death.
Much better. Keep it up, and you could get far. Stripes, you're solid. But that's Reyes Silvermine and Nuevo Rustlers dealt with.
Well, what else have we got in the area for them?
Well, we're spoilt for choice if you're looking for bandit gangs. I did hear there was something stirring up in Bustamante. Not sure what. They had problems with the Comanche, but that was decades ago.
I think we've given the Indians enough trouble in recent years, which balance it out a little more with some of our country's despots, keeping good favor with the Mexican government. Is it true Morgan was around those parts?
He was in Monterey a few years ago, but I heard he went north or died. I might know of someone new. I'll check my files tomorrow. Just someone to keep them distracted while we finish locating Cabras.
Take your time. No rush.
Seems John was right all along. Not that he was around to take any satisfaction from it. And just what was that Eva woman up to? Tune in next time to find out.